Unlock your own strengths and know where your unique gifts belong. Know what throws you out of balance and what simple shifts can help you come back into health and harmony. These are gifts we gain from Ayurveda. Ayurveda doesn't aim to fix you or get you to some point of perfection. It's not an ideal to maintain or a strict set of requirements that you have to rigidly follow. Instead, Ayurveda provides a way of understanding yourself and the systems within and around you, a way to understand what is going on so that you can participate consciously in your own health, happiness, success, and well-being. Welcome to the Called to Bloom podcast. I'm Jen Cavender, founder of Nectar and Bloom, and your host as we explore tools and holistic methods that empower you to craft an inspired career and a fulfilling creative life. I am a floral artist and educator who left an academic career to build my dream floral design studio, and now I empower flower lovers, florists, and creative entrepreneurs like you to find your aligned path and to build your dream. Together, we go deep into topics covering creative entrepreneurship, health and well-being, sustainability, personal transformation, the art and business of working with flowers, and practices for manifesting a life you love. If you are ready to feel inspired and empowered as you build your next aligned creative chapter, you are in the right place. Now, let's bloom. I am so excited to talk to you guys today about a subject that I find so empowering, so incredibly rich and holistic, and full of so much guidance that has helped me immensely in my life and in my work. It's something that if you know me, I continuously bring up and talk about because it's so life-changing. Ayurveda is a system of health, healing, and well-being that has fascinated and benefited me so much that I pursued education in it to become a certified Ayurvedic health counselor, both for my own benefit and also largely so that I could teach and empower others like you with this life-changing guidance. Ayurveda has roots going back over 4,000 years. And like other ancient holistic systems like traditional Chinese medicine, for example, Ayurveda has continued to be relevant and beneficial across time and is actively practiced today. And I am so glad for that because I genuinely don't know where I would be without it. In season 1 of Called to Bloom, I shared an episode with you introducing Ayurveda and its transformative impact on my life and creative work, as well as the key concepts of Ayurveda that you can use to benefit your life and work too. And in case you missed it, this was episode 5, which is titled The Holistic System That Reshaped My Life and Business. And it is still the 4th most listened to out of all episodes so far, which tells me a lot. You guys want to know more about this too. Since releasing that episode, I've received quite a few requests from you letting me know that you want to go deeper and to learn how to really apply the guidance Ayurveda has to offer more specifically to your lives. And I love hearing from you. It fires me up to know what you want to dive into together next. So always reach out and let me know. Plus, I genuinely am so passionate about sharing the wisdom of Ayurveda, which is why I decided to shape this episode of Called to Bloom to bring the gifts and guidance this system has to offer to a space where you can receive and benefit from them the most. That is exactly what this podcast is for. In this episode, we're focusing entirely on how to know your Ayurvedic constitution in depth and how that awareness empowers you to optimize your work and well-being so that you feel more aligned, happier, healthier, and more fulfilled in this one beautiful life that you are here to live. We'll begin with a few key principles of Ayurveda that you need to know, and then I will guide you through how to determine your own Ayurvedic constitution. With that knowledge gained, we'll dive into how to apply Ayurveda to benefit your work and well-being. I'll share with you simple and applicable Ayurvedic shifts and recommendations that you can use to improve or help resolve a number of common complaints and imbalances, and we'll round it all out with a few key baby steps that you can take now. And I'll also leave you with a few great resources and recommendations at the end that you can look into if you'd like to learn more or go deeper. Sound good? Let's take a deep breath, come into your body and into this present moment, ready to discover more about the amazing person you are, and let's get started. This episode of Called to Bloom is brought to you by Tarot of Flowers. One of my love languages is definitely gift giving. I love giving intentional gifts. I also love creating opportunities for celebrations. There are many kinds of gifts we can give in life to express our love, our care, our esteem for another person or for ourselves. And for me, the two most important things when giving a gift are that what I'm giving feels intentional and that it helps the person I'm celebrating feel seen. Feeling seen really for who you are and feeling valued and loved for that is one of the warmest feelings of connection that we share. I also love a gift that is more than just a thing to have, but rather a gift that keeps giving, an item that sparks connection, insights, and experiences every time you open it. Each of these intentions is integral to why I created Tarot of Flowers. Tarot of Flowers is a perfect gift for a flower lover, a florist, a gardener, a yoga teacher, a healer, a business owner, or a creative seeker. It is a beautiful set of 78 flower cards, each hand illustrated by my sister and paired with a complete guidebook that I wrote to help you understand how to use tarot, how to read your cards, everything you need to know to enjoy this interactive self-discovery experience. The guidebook contains each of the flower's messages, folkloric associations, meanings, and connections to the archetypes of tarot. Both the cards and booklet fit inside a beautiful keepsake box that houses it all together, which I love. You can take it anywhere you want to go, and it's all there contained in one box. Tarot of Flowers is a hopeful deck, full of the beauty and wisdom of flowers, as well as insights and guidance from healing modalities that I've studied in depth, including yoga, Reiki, and Ayurveda. It is a collection of experiences waiting for you to open and experience and enjoy. Whether you are headed into a normal day or stepping into a big project or a new season, Tarot of Flowers offers you a centering ritual to tap into a deeper connection to your own inner wisdom through the language of flowers. And it offers a nourishing space to receive messages and spiritual guidance. It's also a fun and moving activity to share with friends, with each person in the circle drawing a card and sharing its meaning, sparking insights and rich conversation throughout your gathering. What I love most about Tarot of Flowers is that it hits those key aspects of a good gift. It's intentional. It makes a person who loves flowers feel seen, and it's a gift that keeps giving. You don't use it once and that's it. You return to it regularly on special occasions and normal everyday times alike, and you share it with friends to continue to expand and enjoy the connection and insights it invites. And as a Call to Bloom listener, you get a special 10% off your first Tarot of Flowers purchase, whether it's a gift for a flower lover or seeker that you love, or a treat just for yourself. To get this listener exclusive discount, head to nectarandbloomfloral.com and use code CALLED to Bloom, that's CALLEDTOBLOOM, one word at checkout. And now back to our episode. So let's begin with a review of a few essentials of Ayurveda as we begin to apply it to your personal and professional well-being. Ayurveda is a Sanskrit word meaning the science of life. It is comprehensive, logical, and rooted in nature. It is a holistic system that helps you to understand your own constitution, your body and personality type, which includes your talents, tendencies, affinities, and needs. It is a complete system of health and well-being that is devoted to helping you live in more harmony, inner peace, confidence, vitality, and ease. I feel more grounded just describing it to you. As an artist and educator, I couldn't help but sense the direct parallels between the wisdom of Ayurveda for bodily and mental health with its equally beneficial application to career and creative well-being too. In other words, while the traditional application of Ayurveda is to improve the health and well-being of your body and mind, I have found firsthand that its wisdom and the insights about yourself that it provides also guide and bring more harmony to how you live, work, and pursue your callings. To begin, I want to slow it all down and zero in on one key aspect of Ayurveda that helps you know your own nature, your individual constitution, so that you can use the wisdom and guidance of Ayurveda to your benefit as they apply to you specifically. So here's that one core key principle. Ayurveda describes three functional energies that animate all of life. Those are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. These three functional energies, or bioenergetic forces, are what make up, combine and shift around to express your body type, your personality, and your tendencies and affinities. They also animate and are expressed in the climate, the weather, the seasons, the times of day, and all of life. But for our purposes right now, I want to focus on how they are part of your own makeup. In Sanskrit, these three functional energies are known as the doshas. The word dosha translates to mean that which can go out of balance, meaning that each of the doshas are like bodily humors that are constantly living, breathing, shifting, and going in and out of balance. But they are also coming back into balance, and that is one of the things that Ayurveda teaches us how to do. My goal for us in this deeper exploration of Ayurveda today is to help you discover your own constitution, which means knowing which of the three doshas is most dominant within you. This is known as your prakriti, which is another Sanskrit word meaning your true and original nature. And it is both unchanging and unique to you, just like your fingerprint. While your constitution does not change, you can definitely experience accumulations and imbalances of any of the three doshas throughout your life. Our work together is to help you know your baseline and a few key concepts from Ayurveda to help you throughout the adventure of life to continuously and lovingly rebalance and be in relationship with yourself and what you need. So let's build on what we covered in episode 5 and really dive into the doshas and go deeper into how to know which one is most present within you so that you can know your Ayurvedic constitution. Knowing your constitution empowers you to know which foods, which inputs, which experiences and activities are beneficial for you and which are aggravating, draining, and throwing you out of balance. And that's in your normal life and in your work. Knowing that also makes it so much easier to know what to move toward, what to let go, and what small shifts will make a big positive impact on your work and your well-being moving forward. Before we go any further, though, it's important to understand two more key things. The first is that we all have all three of the doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, in our makeup, as do all living beings. What is unique is that we all have different levels or amounts of the three doshas compared with one another, and that unique blend makes up your constitution. We want to discover which of the three is most dominant for you, and that is your constitution. This is the starting point for learning how to optimize your health and well-being and to know where you will be happiest and most fulfilled in your creative work too. The second key Ayurvedic principle you need to know is like creates more like and pushes you out of balance, while opposites soothe and return you to balance. This is so important. What this means is that more of the same quality accumulates and moves you toward imbalance, while the opposite of any quality brings things back to neutral and helps you return to balance. As a simple example, when you heat warm water, it continues to get hotter and hotter until it boils. Adding more of the same quality of heat to existing heat makes more heat, which eventually gets too hot and makes the water boil and it's impossible to drink. When you add ice to boiling water, the temperature goes down, helping the water return to a more neutral temperature. So adding something cooling, the opposite quality of heat, helps reduce the heat and return the water to a more balanced and useful temperature. This is just a very simple example, but it illustrates how more of the same, like added to like, creates a more intense version and it moves you toward imbalance, whereas opposites will help return to balance and soothe. And we'll talk more about this soon, but I want to introduce it now because it's fundamental to helping you return anything to balance, be that your body, your mind, your creativity, or your career. So how do you determine your Ayurvedic constitution? You can take a doshas quiz online. And I've included a few trustworthy ones in the show notes of episode 5, and I'll link them again in the show notes for this episode for you to use as well. But I'm also going to go through each of the three doshas with you now in depth so you can listen to and sort yourself into which is most like you as you listen right now. Either way, there are a few things you need to know first in order to get an accurate result. As we begin to determine your Ayurvedic constitution, keep in mind that in order to get an accurate result, you want to think about how you have been all your life, especially considering how you were as a child growing up. So as I describe these tendencies, think about which one is most like you based on how you've always been or how you were over the years of your life, especially when you were younger. According to Ayurveda, your constitution does not change throughout your entire life. It is your true and original nature. And again, it's like your fingerprint. It is as it has always been. This is really important because we go through many different seasons, experiences, times of change, times of growth, times of stress, and so on, which can express or make you seem like you have a different constitution. This is because as you go through life, the three doshas will accumulate, diminish, and shift within you the whole time for many reasons, including changes in the season, the natural aging process, the circumstances of your life, where you live, and decisions that you make in your lifestyle, nutrition, and work. Your constitution still does not change, but the way you feel and what you're experiencing does. And this is different. This is known as your vikriti, is the Sanskrit word, which means your alteration from your natural state. So your natural state is your prakriti or your constitution, and that is unchanging. Vikriti is your deviation from that natural state or nature. What we are looking to discover right now with this kind of assessment or quiz is to discover your prakriti or your natural constitution. So the point of that distinction is that as you listen to the following descriptions of the three doshas to determine which one is most like you, keep in mind that if something sounds like you, but only more recently, like just over the past few weeks or months or even years, it may not be your actual natural constitution. It may be an imbalance you're moving through. So as we go through each dosha now, think of how you were as a kid growing up, before the world added too much to who you are, and how you've been most consistently throughout your life. This will help us get to your true nature and your Ayurvedic constitution. And lastly, if you are unsure or on the fence as you listen or take the quiz, ask someone who knows you really well, someone who has known you all your life preferably, because sometimes that can help you remember or see yourself more clearly. With that in mind, let's dive into the three doshas to help you determine your Ayurvedic constitution. The first is Vata, the second is Pitta, and the third is Kapha. As you listen, make a mental note of which one resonates with you most. You might hear aspects of yourself in all three doshas. Everyone does. That's normal. All three of them are within you, but we're going for which one feels the most prominent and the most like you. First, Vata. Vata is the functional energy that is made up of air and ether elements, making everything about it light, cold, rough, dry, irregular, and mobile. Anything with these qualities indicates Vata energy. Balanced Vata is bright, spontaneous, creative, original, inventive, and free-spirited. Imbalanced Vata energy is erratic, disorganized, chaotic, and inconsistent, often culminating in exhaustion or falling sick due to depletion. Physically, if you are a Vata, you are typically slender and lightweight. You're often more exaggeratedly tall or exaggeratedly petite. Your body is typically more asymmetrical with more delicate bone structures and visibly prominent joints or veins, or both. Your skin is typically thin, dry, and cool to the touch, and your hair is generally more fine, dry, frizzy, or prone to tangling. Vatas are highly sensitive to cold weather and drafts, and you frequently experience cold hands and feet. Your digestion tends to be variable, and your appetite and digestive strength are more irregular, as in you aren't always hungry at meal times, you tend to snack or want food at odd times, and you're more prone to bloating, gas, and constipation. So those are physical attributes and physical tendencies. Mentally and behaviorally, Vatas are enthusiastic, creative, and quick thinking. You are adaptable, you love change, you excel at multitasking. You often experience sudden bursts of energy, followed by quick energy dips and fatigue. You can burn out quickly if you overexert yourself as well. Your sleep is most often light and can be interrupted, or just more erratic in your sleep patterns. When Vata becomes excessive or out of balance, it can cause you to feel ungrounded. Common signs of imbalance include heightened anxiety, nervousness, worry, and fear. Physically, you may experience more chapped or cracking skin, muscle spasms or tics, joint cracking, aches and pains, difficulty sleeping, and again, digestive irregularity. To return to balance, Vatas need to make small shifts that counteract their light, cold, and dry nature. As I mentioned, Ayurveda teaches the core principle that like creates more like and causes imbalance, while opposites soothe and return to balance. So anything that is like Vata in its qualities, cool and mobile and irregular, dry, rough, is going to aggravate and add to vata going out of balance, whereas the opposites will help soothe and relieve and bring back to balance. So vatas are thrown out of balance by too much of what they already are. Too much change, chaos, variability, travel, high demands, lack of rest, and anything that makes you less grounded. And honestly, an excess of these experiences for anyone, even a pitta or kapha, will eventually lead to vata imbalance in everyone. If you are a vata type, or if you're experiencing vata imbalance, it will help you immensely to start incorporating and taking in foods, experiences, and lifestyle shifts that are grounding, that bring warmth, give you structure, and help you have a steady routine. If you want more energy, less chaos, more clarity, better immunity, and more steady energy, start with the number one thing that soothes vata: routine. Get yourself warm and cozy, rested, and in a regular routine that grounds you. When it comes to nutrition and what to eat for vatas, you will feel best when you adjust your diet away from dry and cold things like salads and roughage and popcorn and cold smoothies or juices, raw nuts and seeds, and instead incorporate more healthy fats, warm and well-cooked grains, roasted or steamed root vegetables. When it comes to your lifestyle, as a vata, you will feel best and return to balance more quickly when you maintain a regular daily schedule, especially for sleeping and eating. And when you practice warming and grounding practices like oil massage on your body, which is called abhyanga, will keep your skin and tissues nourished and help you feel more grounded and steady. So in short, what vata wants is movement, change, freedom, and travel. What vata needs is routine, strengthening, rest, nourishment, and grounding. Next, pitta. Pitta is the functional energy that is made up of fire and water elements, making everything about it warm, intense, radiating, acidic, sharp, and fluid. Balanced pitta energy is warm, ardent, driven, organized, and passionate. Imbalanced pitta energy is irritable, demanding, short-tempered, impatient, frustrated, and overly intense. People with a dominant pitta constitution generally exhibit traits associated with warmth, radiance, intensity, and intellectual or verbal sharpness. Physically, if pitta is your dominant dosha, you will likely have a more medium-sized and athletic body, with well-proportioned bone structure and muscle tone that develops easily. You will have a naturally higher body temperature, meaning you often feel hot or run warm, you sweat easily, you prefer cooler environments as well. Pittas tend to have soft, warm, and oily skin, soft pink nails, and a fair, ruddy, or freckled complexion that flushes easily and also burns easily in the sun. Pitta hair tends to be fine and straight, with a potential genetic tendency toward premature graying or early balding in males. Your eyes tend to be bright, sharp, and penetrating, and they're often highly sensitive to bright light. You might be a person who always needs to have your sunglasses on. Because Pitta is the dosha in charge of everyone's central metabolic fire, people with a mostly Pitta constitution tend to have a strong appetite and experience sharp, intense hunger and thirst that cannot easily be skipped or ignored without causing irritability or making you hangry. Pittas have a fast metabolism and highly efficient digestion. Your elimination is regular and frequent, often tending towards soft or loose stools. Mentally, Pitta's fiery nature translates into a highly focused, direct, and organized approach to life. Pittas have a sharp wit, high intelligence, quick comprehension, and excellent problem-solving skills. As a Pitta, you are driven, ambitious, goal-oriented, competitive, and highly disciplined. Pittas are often perfectionists. You are also well-suited for leadership, as Pittas are often natural and charismatic leaders who express themselves with clarity, confidence, and precise speech. When Pitta accumulates and becomes imbalanced, which is caused by stress, overworking, too much intensity, hot weather, acidic or spicy food, you tend to be more prone to outbreaks of anger, irritability, impatience, jealousy, or becoming overly controlling or judgmental. Physical imbalances that are related to heat and intensity with Pitta are things like chronic acid reflux, heartburn, skin rashes, acne, fevers, hot flashes, inflammation, migraines, and bloodshot or burning eyes. These are all signs of Pitta imbalance. To return to balance, Pittas need less of what they are, hot, fiery, intense, and more of what they are not, cooling, calming, laid back, and playful. As a Pitta, if you want to feel more peaceful, spacious, regulated, joyous, at ease, in harmony, then reduce heating activities and spicy foods or acidic coffee intake or acidic alcohol, and introduce cooling activities and intakes like walks in nature, swimming, taking breaks and having intentional boundaries with work, and cooling foods like cucumber, watermelon, coconut, and spices like coriander and fennel. When it comes to your lifestyle, to keep Pitta's fiery energy grounded and healthy, Ayurveda recommends prioritizing a calming lifestyle. It also helps to balance Pitta to intentionally protect time off, like downtime to relax and play, and time in nature, because the green of forests and meadows, as well as the cooling and soothing effects of swimming or being near a body of water, is exactly what Pitta needs for balance. So in short, what Pitta wants is challenge, achievement, and intensity. What Pitta needs is soothing, cooling, and space to relax. And finally, Kapha. Kapha is the functional energy that is made up of water and earth elements, making it stable, heavy, dense, cold, viscous, oily, and smooth. Balanced kapha shows up as endurance, strong immunity, and a calm and compassionate demeanor. Physically, kaphas are solid, sturdy, and strong, with a heavier build and bigger bones and a tendency to gain weight more easily. A classic kapha experience is that you gain by pounds and lose by ounces. Your skin tends to be smooth, soft, cool to the touch, and often on the more oily side. Your nails are strong and thick, your hair is thick and lustrous, and often wavy and abundant, and your eyes are likely large, soft, and dark. Kaphas love their sleep and sleep heavily. Mentally and emotionally, if you're a kapha, your temperament is mostly calm, grounded, stable, and patient. Your personality tends to be nurturing, loyal, compassionate, and dependable, and you have exceptional long-term memory. Kaphas don't really do stress. Instead, they are often peacemakers who handle emotions well, but also you may avoid conflict and become withdrawn. Out of balance kapha energy causes physical discomforts like weight gain, lethargy, heaviness, and slow digestion, sinus congestion, and respiratory congestion. You will likely also experience mental and emotional imbalances like attachment, stubbornness, heavy moods, reduced motivation, and a desire for excessive sleep. Bringing yourself back into balance as a kapha, or if you have kapha imbalance, means that you'll need to offset kapha's heavy and cool qualities. Ayurveda recommends that you eat warm, light, and dry foods, favor spices, vegetables, and astringent foods, and in turn, avoid or reduce heavy, moist, dense, or overly sweet foods, including dairy and desserts. Doesn't mean you can't have them at all, just means reduce. Also, exercise and regular movement is really important for kaphas, and it helps immensely to get your body and energy circulating and warm and engaged, which increases your energy, improves your digestion, and brings more liveliness and happiness to kaphas, who tend to just want to chill if left to your own devices. So in short, what kapha wants is to relax and lounge and be peaceful and let others lead. What kapha needs is movement, change, spices, fresh air, and warmth to bring their energy up. So that gives you a broad and clear picture of each of the doshas as constitution types, and you're probably already starting to get a really good idea of which one you are predominantly. But I also want to give you a look at a few specific comparisons between each dosha to help you fine-tune which one you are. Physically, if you tend to be more slight, cold, and dry, you're likely a vata. If you're more average, warm, and sharp physically, you're likely a pitta. If you're more large, cool, and heavy, you're likely a kapha. When it comes to typical interests, if you're drawn to creative ventures and travel, you're likely a vata. If you're drawn to business and sport and achievement, you're likely a pitta. If you're drawn to gardening and reading, you're likely a kapha. Then there are ideal or favorite climates where you feel best in your body to live. If you are drawn to warm and humid climates, like tropical locations, you are likely vata. If you are drawn to cool and temperate climates, like coastal or mountain areas, you're likely a pitta. And if you're drawn to dry and arid climates, like the desert, you are likely a kapha. And as we go through these things, again, it's accumulation of all of them. You're trying to find the one that you seem to answer to the most. When it comes to sleep patterns, if you are irregular with your sleep and more prone to insomnia, you're likely a vata. If you sleep well, but you can be very sensitive, and if woken up, you can have a hard time falling back asleep, you are likely a pitta. If you tend to sleep like a log, heavy and solid, whole night, you're likely a kapha. Then there's ways of speaking. If you tend to talk fast and talk a lot and use a lot of hand gestures, you're likely a vata. If you tend to be verbally sharp, eloquent, and precise with your words, you're likely a pitta. And if you tend to be slower to speak up and sometimes stay quiet because you feel unsure what to say or you'd rather listen to others first, you're likely a kapha. Emotionally, if you tend to be a worrier, more prone to anxiousness and nerves, you're likely a vata. Emotionally, if you tend to be impatient and irritable or easy to make angry if you don't get your way, you're likely a pitta. If you tend to be happy, caring, and maybe sometimes a little bit possessive or resentful, you might be a kapha. As far as memory goes, if you learn fast but forget just as quickly, you're likely a vata. If you learn fast and remember well, especially the things you're passionate about or care about, you never forget them, you're likely a pitta. If you learn slowly, but then you remember everything forever, you're likely a kapha. Health-wise, when we take a look at general immunity, if you get sick often or have a weaker immunity, you're likely a vata. If you tend to have medium immunity, sometimes you get sick, but not that often, you're likely a pitta. If you tend to have really good immunity, as in you almost never get sick, then you're probably a kapha. And one last one, when it comes to determining your dosha, each one has a kind of slogan that indicates their typical personality or disposition. The three slogans are, can I change my mind? Or it's my way or the highway? Or don't worry, be happy. And at this point, you might have guessed, can I change my mind is vata, always changing, always moving. It's my way or the highway is pitta, very precise and goal-oriented. And don't worry, be happy is kapha, sweet, slow, and steady. So by now, one of these dosha descriptions is likely really starting to resonate with you quite a bit. And that's what we want, as this is your baseline or your nature, which tells us so much about who and how you are, and also then what you need. You're also likely already picking up on a lot of ways that knowing your nature can help you back off of things that aggravate you or push you out of balance, as well as things that help you return to balance. I touched on this lightly early on, but it is also totally normal if you find a strong resonance with two of the doshas, with one being most clearly you and one being compellingly the runner-up. Many, if not most people, have a dominant and a secondary dosha, which is known as being dual doshic, or having two co-dominant doshas. Dual doshic constitutions always list your dominant dosha first, followed by your secondary dosha, the one that's also very much like you, as the second one. Dual doshic constitution examples include vata pitta, pitta vata, vata kapha, kapha vata, kapha pitta, and pitta kapha. So you can just be mainly vata, pitta, or kapha, or you can be one of those combinations. Don't let this get you tripped up. If one dosha really speaks to who and how you have always been, stick with that one to guide your health, lifestyle, and career needs. If you find yourself torn between two, know that this is normal as well, and you could very easily be both. If you are, you will just need to pay attention to which one is out of balance and adjust for that. As an example, I myself am pitta vata, meaning I'm predominantly pitta. I'm driven, perfectionistic, passionate. I run warm. I tend to be impatient. I love to lead and guide and teach and coach and motivate. I love to write and speak. I love being organized and having a routine. And I love to set and achieve goals. I'm drawn to challenges and intensity, although I have learned over time how to contain this drive so that I don't overburden and burn myself out the way I used to, which is why I talk a lot about strategies for avoiding or overcoming burnout. I know it very well. And my body sweats and flushes easily. I tend to be rosy and pink. I have fair skin and freckles. I have fine light hair. When I'm out of balance, I tend toward things like heartburn, fevers, rashes, and inflammation, which are all of those kind of heat and acidity-based pitta things. But I'm also a good deal vata as my secondary dosha. I'm creatively inclined, I'm independent, and I'm someone who enjoys change. Not all the time, but I do enjoy change and freedom. I'm drawn to creative pursuits in the arts, as well as movement like dance and running all through my life. And I love to travel, although not constantly. I love having autonomy and the freedom to be my own boss, build my own career, and design my life my way, which is very pitta and vata, I have to say. And my travels tend to be retreats and geared toward grounding and soothing and learning and expanding and finding balance, which my constitution type, pitta vata, really needs. So I give myself as an example to sort of start to illustrate that as you're listening to and moving through these different constitution types and finding out more about who and how you are. Stay tuned to the end of this episode to learn more about resources and recommendations that I have for you for getting yourself an Ayurvedic assessment and going deeper into knowing your constitution and your personalized needs specifically. Now let's apply this knowledge of your constitution to help you know how to support yourself and optimize your work and well-being using this new awareness. Each of the doshas has its strengths and weaknesses when it comes to work and creativity, which can be so helpful in knowing where your gifts fit best and where you will feel most at home in the work you do creatively and professionally. In other words, knowing your Ayurvedic constitution helps you position yourself in your career and in your creative work where you are best suited and where you will be most fulfilled. This knowledge also helps you know what you might be doing that is aggravating or depleting you, which can help you know what you might be able to let go or benefit from letting go, what you could move away from or start to delegate in order to focus your time and talents where you're most suited to be. First, let's look at your natural strengths and where you will be most aligned in your work according to your dosha. Vatas at work tend to be creative, independent, spontaneous, inventive, communicative, chatty, enthusiastic, quirky, and probably a little messy. Vatas love new ideas, the ability to change their minds, they love freedom, and a little chaos. They can also tend to run out of steam or need to work in spurts. Vatas tend to be more of the mad scientist or scattered artist type. If you are a Vata, you will do best in project-based roles that allow you to utilize your spurts of energy with breaks in between them, and that allow you to enjoy change and freedom from project to project. Vatas often do well in marketing roles, and they suffer in roles that ask them to do things over and over again, same thing forever. If you're a Vata, you do not like that. To stay balanced, Vatas need to not take on too much, to complete one thing at a time, complete a project, complete a task, help build that focus and discipline, and establish some structure and routine into your creativity and work. Vatas need a schedule to remember to have meals at meal times and stay hydrated, and they need regular and abundant rest more than other doshas. So if you're a Vata, you're probably nodding your head thinking, yep, I hate when I have to do the same thing over and over again. I run out of energy if I go for too long. I'm happiest in creative and inventive roles. So trust that instinct. Trust that inner deep personal awareness that's being highlighted now in this episode as I share these tools from Ayurveda with you. The same goes for Pitta and Kapha as we dive into those. So Pittas at work are going to tend to be driven, motivated, task-oriented, organized, verbally eloquent, witty, intellectual, passionate about what they are into, and ambitious with their goals. Pittas do well in leadership roles. They do well with speaking, teaching, production, and coaching roles as well, as they are very good at organizing information and ideas, and their passion is bright and motivating to others. Pittas are planners, and they tend to like to be in charge or be the boss. If you are a Pitta, you need work that allows you to create and serve from your passion, and that allows you to continue to advance, achieve goals, take on challenges, and that will make you happy and fulfilled. What you need to stay balanced is required mandatory time off the clock, out of the office, downtime to play, go on vacation or retreat to relax and reset and chill out so that you don't get obsessed and burnt out. And I imagine if you're a Pitta, you're also nodding your head thinking, yep, that's true. When I do give myself space to be outside in nature or go on a retreat style getaway or just have time with my family or friends to relax and be silly, my ambition has more stamina and balance. And I'm happier instead of burnt out and frustrated and impatient, which is the imbalanced Pitta. So then looking at Kapha as well. Kaphas at work tend to be sweet, community-oriented, supportive, easygoing, all about the team, and patient. Kaphas don't mind letting others lead, and they don't mind doing less exciting things if it helps the team forward. They have a deep patience and a really strong stamina. Kaphas are encouraging and often very helpful in grounding or redirecting their wild Vata colleagues or in helping their fiery Pitta colleagues know when enough is enough or when it's time to stop and celebrate. Kaphas are steady, loyal, and nurturing. They have great stamina and don't burn out as easily as other constitutions. Kaphas also have an immense empathy and a desire to care for others. If you're a kapha, you do well in administrative roles, caregiving roles, hospitality, customer relations, places where you get to care for, nurture, and be with others. Kaphas are not going to be happy being pushed into a role where they have to come up with things on their own, lead the charge, be the one who's driven and motivated. That's just not their skill set. But their skill set is in this nurturing, loving, patient, and withstanding nature to get things done and to help the team and the cause forward. In order to stay balanced, as a kapha, you need new challenges and novelty to spice things up and refresh your energy so things don't get stagnant in your patience and your steadiness. Kaphas need a warm environment that allows them to feel connected and at home, but also like there's excitement and energy helping them stay fresh. So that's looking at the work side. Let's look a little deeper into the well-being side. What I'm going to share with you next are a few common issues and ailments that you may experience that I'm going to decode for you so that you know when you're experiencing it, which dosha is likely out of balance. I'll also share with you after we look at these lists of symptoms what Ayurveda recommends you can do to help you get back into balance. When it comes to imbalances of the mind, anxiousness and fear points to vata imbalance. Anger and impatience points to pitta imbalance. Depression and apathy points to kapha imbalance. Remember, vata is soothed by routine and stability. If you're feeling anxious, try to get back into a regular, reliable routine and remove some of the chaos from your life. Simplify, nourish, and care for yourself. Get support and get grounded. Pitta is soothed by reduced intensity, cooling off, and having space to relax and play. If you're feeling angry and impatient, go for a walk outside. Make some time away from work to chill out and enjoy yourself. Get yourself into nature. Kapha is soothed by movement, novelty, and spicing things up. If you're feeling low, stagnant, or apathetic in your mind, break up your routine. Plan a trip and have an adventure. Clean out your space and get rid of clutter, things you don't need. It will really refresh you. You can see how each of these tips helps introduce the opposite qualities of each of the doshas, which starts to help you rebalance. Keep in mind that each of these applies whether one of the doshas is your constitution or you're experiencing that dosha out of balance. So you might be a kapha, but you could still have vata imbalance, even if your constitution is kapha. So it's good to know your constitution, know what you are prone to, know what your tendencies are, know your body type. But remember, you could also experience imbalance in any of the doshas. So we just talked about imbalances of the mind. Let's talk about imbalances of the body. If you're experiencing any of the following physical imbalances, like weight loss, irregular appetite, irregular sleep or insomnia, irregular energy levels, brittle nails, bloating and gas, joint cracking, dry skin, aches and pains, or low energy and fatigue, these all indicate vata imbalance. And what does vata need? Routine, nourishment, and grounding. If you're experiencing any of these following physical imbalances, inflammation, fevers, rashes, redness, excess heat, short temper, acid reflux, diarrhea, migraines, irritability, or just excessive intensity, these all indicate pitta imbalance. And remember, pitta needs soothing, cooling, relaxation, space, and especially nature. And if you're experiencing any of these following imbalances, weight gain, congestion, phlegm, coughs, heaviness, dullness, no appetite, excessive tiredness, lack of focus, fluid retention, or sluggish metabolism, or just a lack of interest, apathy, these all indicate kapha imbalance. And remember, to balance kapha, we need novelty, movement, and spicing things up. As a note, please keep in mind that if any of your symptoms have become severe or debilitating, it's time to see a healthcare professional. I myself am an Ayurvedic health counselor, and this episode and all of the wisdom I'm sharing with you from Ayurveda is meant to inform you with perspectives and tools that are empowering and a lot of times mostly preventative. So use them to help you become more aware of yourself and your needs and to customize your lifestyle and self-care in your career. But if you have any deep-seated or distressing imbalances, go see an Ayurvedic doctor or your preferred healthcare provider right away. This is a podcast episode to inform and entertain and empower you. But if you need help, go get professional help. You deserve it. And the last category for common imbalances are imbalances in your creativity and career. If in your creative work you're feeling erratic, easily tired, unable to focus, or just exhausted, this points to Vata imbalance. Being distracted, disorganized, inconsistent, discontent, indecisive, or just flying by the seat of your pants all the time also point to a need to ground and nourish Vata. If in your creative work you're feeling impatient, driven, obsessed, severe, or hyper self-critical, you need to cool down your Pitta. Also, if you experience having very high expectations, unrealistic expectations, intensity, harshness, perfectionism, or workaholism, these also point to imbalanced Pitta that needs cooling, space, and chilling out. And if in your creative work you're feeling unmotivated, heavy, dull or blank, unfocused, cloudy, moody, unambitious, or overcome with self-doubt, these can all indicate that you need to refresh and revitalize your kapha. So in each of these common imbalances, remember, Ayurveda teaches that when there is something you are experiencing that you want to change or improve, you can do that by introducing things that have its opposite qualities. For each of the three doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, doing less of what is similar and more of what is opposite for each one will help you return any of those doshas to balance. As a review, with Vata, less movement, less travel, less chaos, less wind, less cold, and less change will help reduce and therefore rebalance Vata, as will increasing the opposite of those qualities, like bringing in more simplicity, stability, grounding, warmth, nourishment, and routine. Remember, you know Vata is out of balance when you're feeling more and more spacey, forgetful, disorganized, or chaotic. You need to ground and nourish. As a review with Pitta, less intensity, less severity, less heat, less stress, less spicy things, and less pushing forward will help reduce Pitta and return it to balance, as will increasing the opposite of those qualities, like bringing in more downtime, relaxation, cooling off, being playful, and more reasonable in your expectations. Remember, you know Pitta is out of balance when you're feeling more and more frustrated, impatient, and burnt out. You need to help yourself chill out. And keep in mind the smallest things can start making a really big change over time cumulatively. So you don't have to change your whole life, but you could change one small thing. Over time, I started to reduce how much spicy food I ate, and I'm so much less irritable. I also stopped drinking alcohol because it's very, very aggravating for me as a fiery person, and it actually feels wonderful. It's not to say that these things are bad for everyone, but when you know your constitution and you start to do little shifts, you start to feel better, it's amazing. So I want you to have that awareness of your constitution so that you can make those little shifts. But back to what I was reviewing with the last one with kapha, in the same way, reducing more of what is like and adding more of what is opposite are what help to balance kapha as well. So with kapha, less inertia, less routine, less same old or rote ways of doing things, less coldness, heaviness, and sweetness will all help reduce and rebalance kapha, as will increasing the opposite of those qualities, like bringing in more movement, warming spices into your foods, novelty, change, challenge, and spontaneity. Remember, you know kapha is out of balance when you're feeling stuck, heavy, unmotivated, and disengaged. You need to spice things up and get yourself moving. Okay, so good. I'm so proud of you for integrating and taking in all of these wonderful tools as we layer them on each other so that the understanding becomes natural for you. I want to add one more layer that I think is really important as we do this deep examination of the doshas in your constitution, and that is being aware of the doshas in the seasons of the year. I mentioned this lightly in episode 5, but I want to reference it here because it's also very useful in your ability to rebalance and make small shifts throughout your days, throughout your life that help you be in more harmony, because the seasons affect your body and your doshas as well. So while you have your Ayurvedic constitution, you are also impacted by the season around you, which is animated by the doshas as well. The fall into winter season is Vata season. That's when all of nature becomes more dry and brittle, when leaves wither and drop from trees, where the winds pick up and the earth kind of moves into a dormancy. There's a depletion and a natural need for rest after the productive summer season. So Vata energy is higher. And during Vata season, we need to eat more warm, cooked, roasted vegetables, oily foods, grounding things. And we want to be warm and cozy in sweaters and blankets and have candles and lights around and feel cozy. That all is grounding for Vata. So be aware that during the fall and early winter season is Vata season. So even if your constitution is Pitta or Kapha, you're still impacted by Vata season. And if you are a Vata, you're especially impacted by that season. So more grounding, more nurturing, more stability. Then winter into spring is this season of melting, thawing, and abundance as things start to come into new growth and sap is flowing in the trees and flowers are starting to bloom and pollen is in the air. That's Kapha season where there's a lot of growth and strength and rebirth in nature. And that's the season where we need to get moving. We have a little bit of winter weight we need to shed. We have more energy. We can start getting up earlier. We need to get more active. And it's a good season to start new projects and learn new things and start spicing up life, right? The same things we've been talking about for what helps balance Kapha. And then as spring gives way to summer, the summer season, when the light is brightest, the heat is most intense, and all of nature is in high production mode, producing and fruiting and flowering, and everything is really at its height. That's Pitta season, where things are most intense, bright, sharp, and full of activity and productivity. During Pitta season in the summer, everyone's Pitta gets higher. People get more impatient and angry when they're driving, and you can get hangrier. You just feel burnt out. And that's why it's wonderful to go on vacation or go to the lake or go to the ocean, go swimming, be in nature, spend more time in the garden. All of that helps to bring down Pitta. So I want to give you that last layer for today because knowing the seasons lets you know what's impacting you all around you as we learn through Ayurveda to live more aligned with our own constitutions and to live in more alignment with the seasons around us because we are of nature. Nature brings us into the world. Nature feeds and nourishes us throughout life, and nature welcomes us back at the end of life. And that is wisdom from Ayurveda as well. So living more in alignment with nature helps you live in more harmony, helps you thrive. And now that you know so much more about the three doshas, how they impact your constitution and how they impact your life, knowing how they impact and are animating the seasons is another layer that helps you have more agency in how you're living your life as you live in a more rhythmic way with nature instead of expecting the same thing out of yourself year round. So now you know about the seasons and how those impact the doshas in your body and mind as well. All right, so this is all fascinating, but how do you actually just barely start to dip your toe in? How do you really start to apply it to your life and creative work? I want to give you some really low stakes and accessible baby steps now to help you start to apply and implement the wisdom of Ayurveda with ease and no overwhelm. So let's take a look at those. The first baby step into applying and implementing Ayurveda to optimize your work and well-being is to keep learning about your constitution and gently, lovingly becoming more aware of it in your daily life and routines. Just make a practice of noticing where your Vata, your Pitta, or your Kapha show up in your body, your mind, your habits, your affinities, and your imbalances as well. One of the greatest gifts of Ayurveda is providing a lens through which you get to know yourself, to really see and hear and experience yourself, and to feel more in touch with and empowered to take care of yourself so that you feel better, enjoy more, and serve your callings with more joy and ease. The goal is not to become someone or something else. It is to function more harmoniously as who you naturally are. The second baby step I have for you as we start to apply and implement is to pay attention to the seasons that we just talked about and how they affect you. Adjust your yearly calendar to be in more harmony with the seasons and the energy and effects of each dosha during its season as well. As a little review and expansion, fall and winter are Vata season. Vata season is a good time to wind down, to reflect and celebrate. So as you're working in your business or your creative work or your career, keep that in mind. It's also a great time of year to dream up what's next and to explore what you might like to bring into being when nature wakes back up and when you come back out during the spring. And then winter into spring is that kapha season. This is a great season to start new projects and to dive into new endeavors with the stamina of kapha season. And then after spring, as it starts to transition into the warmer months of summer, we arrive into pitta season. When nature is rising in heat and intensity, pitta season is a great time to be in high production in your creative work, but also make intentional space to dream and play on summer evenings with friends and family. Be frivolous on purpose to avoid burnout. Let yourself do fun things you want to do just because you know that it will nourish your soul and keep you in balance. The third baby step I have for you as we apply Ayurveda and implement what we've learned is to consider how your constitution affects your creativity and work. So as you take a look at how you feel in your creative work, your service, and your career based on your constitution, ask yourself, what can you take on or begin that would bring you more life? What can you complete or let go that would allow you more space, harmony, and balance? Are you a spontaneous visionary, a passionate leader, or a devoted teammate? And if you're more than one, which would suit you best right now in this season of life? And the fourth and last baby step suggestion I have for you as we implement is to create a grounding daily routine. Take a look at your typical day from when you get up to when you go to sleep. You don't need to come with a critical eye or thinking you need to change everything. Instead, take an inventory of your current routine, or maybe lack of a routine, and introduce one thing that helps you set up a more regular rhythm. The body loves routine, and Vata of the three doshas is always the first one to go out of balance and can push the other ones out of balance. So everyone needs routine to help keep Vata settled and to help you be more balanced and in harmony. So set a regular time to get up in the morning and a regular time to go to bed at night. Being more consistent about this one central thing will make a huge beneficial impact on your health, your energy levels, and your mood, no matter what your constitution is. Then try to take your meals at the same time each day as you build this daily routine. This helps your body be prepared for your meals, which optimizes your digestion. And Ayurveda teaches that the seat of health is in the digestion. How well you digest your food impacts your immunity, your energy levels, all of your systems. If you can rise in the morning, take your 3 meals, and go to bed at night around the same times each day, you will do immense benefit for your body, your mind, and your creative spirit. This alone is one of the most supportive things you can do for your incredible body and being. So I'm going to wrap us for today by sharing a few key resources and recommendations that I have for you in case you'd like to learn more or go deeper. A few books that I recommend first for further reading about Ayurveda include Deepak Chopra's book, Perfect Health, for a foundational introduction to Ayurveda, written for Westerners to help make it accessible. This is the book my mom read when I was a kid that had a huge impact on me, and that I read again myself in grad school as I started on my own journey of really learning about and integrating Ayurveda into my life. The second book I would recommend is Vasant Lad's book, The Complete Book of Ayurvedic Home Remedies. This will give you an amazing resource for understanding imbalances and knowing what you can do to help support your well-being with household remedies and herbs. And the third one is kind of an aesthetic preference, but it's a book by Claire Ragozzino. It's called Living Ayurveda, and it's a beautiful kind of coffee table style book that invites you into Ayurveda in an aesthetically beautiful way that I appreciate, and I bet you will too. A few other resources I recommend. In my own Nectar and Bloom journal, I have several posts and resources I've created about Ayurveda, including guidance for seasonal well-being during Vata season, Pitta season, and Kapha season, and also a few other posts on Ayurvedic recipes that I love and tips as well. So I'll include those in the show notes. And you can also check out numerous posts and resources on the blog of Kerala Ayurveda, Kerala with a K, which is the academy through which I did my trainings and certifications. They have blog posts about all sorts of things on Ayurveda. And lastly, if you're looking for an experience, maybe you're ready to work with someone to go deeper into your holistic well-being and how to apply this wisdom and put these things to use, here are a few pointers and options. First of all, if you look up Ayurvedic coaches, counselors, or practitioners in your area, you will probably find someone who does those. They would do a constitution assessment on you and also do some health and well-being coaching for you to help you know what you need for your constitution and maybe what you need for the imbalances you're experiencing. The organization where I completed my certifications that I just mentioned, Kerala Ayurveda, also has plenty of Ayurvedic practitioners and doctors you could work with as well, depending on the level of your needs. They do in-person and also virtual sessions. And then just to let you know, I do my own coaching as well. So within my mentorships, there's an option to do remote coaching. And during that, this is really where I bring Ayurveda into career building, creative career, branding, business, and strategizing the projects you want to do and where you want to go, building the life you want, building the business that you want, building the creative practice you want. So if you want to go deeper in Ayurveda and work with me as an integrated creative and educator and coach, that's an option as well. So reach out. Ooh, this is such a juicy episode and such a rich topic that I love and love to share with you. It's been completely life-changing for me. It's helped me make so many good shifts in my life and in my career and in the work that I do that help me shine in what I'm good at and help me not be against myself. And that is exactly what I want for you. We covered a lot today. Ayurveda is fascinating. It's beautifully logical, so beautifully rooted in nature, and it's also rich and robust as a system of guidance. So I recommend going back and re-listening to this episode or any part of it that you want to review. Also have a listen to episode 5 if you missed that as well. Listening to both will be really helpful to get the insights and the clarity that will be most empowering for you as you optimize your work and well-being using the wisdom of Ayurveda. I am so excited for you to deepen your understanding of your own nature and to apply these beautiful guidelines and supportive nuggets of wisdom to your life. And if you want to go deeper, reach out. I would love to dive in with you. You can sign up for a free discovery call through my mentorship page, and you can sign up for coaching sessions there too. And either way, congratulations on stepping deeper into your alignment and desire to thrive. By tuning into this episode, you are saying yes to optimizing your work, your creativity, and your well-being. You deserve to be radiant with health and empowered with ever-deepening awareness of who you are, what you need, where you belong, and what your true purpose and callings are. I am thrilled to be on this journey with you of blooming and becoming. Beautifully done. You just completed another episode of Called to Bloom, another step forward on your creative journey. Finishing any resource that nourishes your growth and makes you feel more connected is one of the most empowering things you can do for your business and creative calling. Now, to expand your experience, hit follow so you never miss an episode, and also please leave a quick review. Your words are so powerful in helping other creatives like you to discover the podcast. Then head over to calledtobloompodcast.com to find show notes, resources, discount codes, and details from our sponsors. If you're ready to deepen your practice with classes and immersive experiences in flowers and well-being, head over to nectarandbloomfloral.com and explore my workshops, one-on-one mentorships, Poetry of Flowers holistic online courses, retreats, and my original Tarot of Flowers deck. You can also find me on Instagram at Nectar and Bloom for more inspiration, tools, creativity, and like-minded community. For now, keep blooming. The world needs what you are here to create.